We're going to work through this example before us. It says that we need to plot the data in the table below. We've been given age in years, and we've been given height in centimeters. Let's first determine what our explanatory and response variables are. Obviously, my age is my explanatory variable because it explains the height. So height is a response variable. So remember, when you're trying to figure out explanatory and response, you're asking what affects the other. So your age, it will affect your height. Okay, so that means my age is my X and my height is my Y. Let's now just plot this data on our CAS. So we're going to come over here, and as you can see, what I've already done is just called this age and put in all my age. I put in my height and I put in all my heights here. If we then plot this, so go control, add doc, data and statistics, my age is my X and my Y is my height. You can see that we've got this. Now, looking at this data, you can see that it's not linear. It's got a bit of a curve to it. And this is where you'd come and you'd look at this thing right here, the circle of transformations, and you say, you know what, this looks like this. And there are multiple different transformations that we could apply. But in this example, we're going to be looking at this one right here. We're going to be logging the X values here. And you can see it just has the same shape as it does there. So this will be an appropriate transformation to use, at least for this example. Okay, so let's now come over here, and it actually tells you what it wants you to do for this one. So let me just bring this over here. It says, use the log X transformation to linearize the data. So log X means we're going to be taking the log of the age, because that's what X is here. It's our explanatory variable. So let's do that. So we're going to come over here, we're going to come here, and we're going to log all of my X variable or X values here. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to call this log age. Then I'll come here, I'll hit equals, I'll go control log. Remember, you don't have to put in a base of 10 because it assumes it. Then I'll come here, I'll hit variable, I'll hit age, and now I'm going to log all the ages. I hit enter and it pre-populates all that data for me. Remember, if you wanted to see the decimals or the approximate values instead of the exact values here, what you'd have to do is go into your settings and go document settings and change it from approximate to, oh, sorry, it is an approximate. If I go back, oh, sorry, I must have changed it just then to approximate. You need to change it to approximate and they will all be there. So now you can see them each. You don't have to do that, only if it asks you for maybe, round such and such so many decimals, you'd have to do that. Okay, we continue on now. I can now come back to my graph page, and instead of age, I can click this and change it to log age. And what you're going to see is that this will become more linear when I change this. Ready? Perfect. It is somewhat more linear now. So now that I've applied that transformation, it is somewhat more linear. And remember, the effect of applying a log to your X variables is that it's compressing the larger values here. So it's taking the bigger values and it's compressing them. Okay, now that I've done that, I can now figure out what my, as it says here, if we read the next question, fit a line to the transformed data with Y as the response variable and log X as the explanatory variable. Write its equation in terms of the variables. So I need to figure out the least square regression line. There are different ways you could do this. If you're here, you could just go menu, analyze, regression, and then show linear A plus BX. And you'd get your answer just like that. Or if you wanted to, another way to do it is if you're over here, you could go menu, statistics, stat calculation, linear regression A plus BX, put this as your log age, put this as your height, go OK, and it will give you your A is 24.26 and your B is 117.16. That is the same as we see here. So it really doesn't matter which way you use. Either is good. Now let's come over here and put in that information. So I'm just going to copy this down here. But it's important that when we're copying it down, as you can see, it's told us that we want to write the equation in terms of the variables. So we don't want to write X and Y. I want to say height is equal to, now it was 24.3. I'll round it up. So 26 will become 0.3. So 24.3 plus, and then the other value was 100, oopsie daisy. The other value was 117 point, we will say 2. 117.2. And then we're going to times that by, now this is the important thing, the log of the age. What people normally mess up is they just write age here and haven't taken into account that we have applied this log x transformation here. So you have to remember to include that. Don't forget. Okay, then once we've done that now, that's all looking good. It says use this equation to predict the age when the height is 178 centimeters. So what we want to do is we want to go, all right, when I've got 178 here, I want to go 24.3 plus 117.2 times log of age. And I want to figure out what this age is right here. To do this, I would definitely recommend that you use the solve function in your calculator. So we'll come to our calculator, and I might just make this a bit smaller, move it over here so I can see it. I'll come here. I'm going to have to add a new page, add calculator, menu, algebra, solve. I've got 178 equals 24.3 plus 117.2. Then I'm timesing that by control log. Don't worry about putting 10 there because the calculator assumes it. I'll just put X here. I don't want to type out age, so I'll just put X here. And then I need to solve it for X, so I go comma X. So that all looks good there. And now I hit enter, and it's going to give me 20.48. So that means the age is going to be, and if I was to round this just to one decimal place as I have, it will be 20.5. So 20.5. And just like that, we're done. So we have predicted the age when the height is 178. So someone who is 178, we have predicted will be 20.5 years based on this data up here. So that is how you apply the log X transformation, how to do it with the CAS, and how to make a prediction as well. Hopefully you feel comfortable with all that, and I'll see you later.